Hello friends, now we will do an exercise based on this. On this means the past perfect continuous tense. Half of it is given in each sentence. The remaining half we will together fill. Okay. So fill in the gap. That will be the title of this exercise. Let's say they had been doing on-the-job training for a month. Then you have got the verb close. The rest of that you have to supply. Let's say like this. They had been doing on-the-job training for a month. Now what tense? How will you continue with this sentence? When they closed the factory. Isn't it? When they closed the factory. That would be the answer. Best alternative, I think. When they closed the factory. Isn't it? When they closed the factory. So you can see they had been doing on-the-job training for a month when they closed the factory. Closed, or you want to make it more precise, closed down. When they closed down the factory. Okay, the main verb is close. And the next one, first part you have to supply. Before she had started cooking. So here it is read. You can say like this, she had been reading a novel or she had been reading newspapers. Then she had started cooking. Isn't it? Novel, newspaper, anything. So you can say like this, she had been reading novels. That is simple now. Before she started cooking. She had been reading newspapers. She had been reading poems. She had been reading film scripts. She had been reading, what else she can read for how many hours? She had been reading novels for 2 hours. So, for 2 hours, that means she can read either a novel or poem or can say scriptures. She had been reading scriptures. She had been reading religious books. So any of these things you can use, but the verb should be read. Alright, is that clear? The students had been studying for 6 hours and so get tired. That's very simple. They got tired. And so they got tired. Listen. And so they got tired. Next one is question. Had you been writing letters? So you have to use a question verb that will tell you the duration of time. So the question word is how long? So you answer, how long had you been? How long had you been writing letters? Okay. The next one is, again you have to supply the first part. Before you came here, do. So maybe it's in an interview situation, a person is moving from one factory or one office to another, one company to another. Then the question comes, what had you been doing? So natural. What had you been doing before you came here? What had you been doing? So that would be I think the best alternative. What had you been doing before you came here? Or before you applied here? Before you came in search of a job? Before you came here for a gift, anything like that, or before you came here for some charity, anything. You can have such alternatives, of course, it's up to you. And then, how had you been preparing before advice? So you have to use that verb advice here. You can say, how had you been preparing before we advised you? Or you were advised by us, either passive or active. So before we advised you, we advised you. Or you can also use the passive. What is the passive? Before you were advised by us. Before you were advised by us. Anyhow, so it will be simple past. That's the point. Alright, seventh. Before your new teacher took charge. You can understand now. See, what would be that's a question. So the alternative is who had been teaching you English sentence before your new teacher took charge. So somebody else was teaching. So the principal or some person outside or a parent asked who had been teaching you English before your new teacher took charge. Understand? Yes. Natural question. Yes. And now we have got the eighth one. They had been working on that project for years without success, and so very simple. Here it is leave. They left it. So they left it. They left it. And the ninth one, many had been trying this for months but could not find solution. But could not find any solution. So could not find any solution. Next one, the students had been showing interest in studies when what happened? Shoot means shooting, film shooting. That's right. Understand? So you can say the students had been showing interest in studies when the film shooting, when the shooting of a film began. When the shooting of a film began. Or yes, when the shooting began, and that is enough now. When the shooting began, so shooting begin. That will be the full verb. Shooting begin. So when the shooting began, shooting of the film. So that's a kind of interruption. Somehow they started studying. Suddenly somebody said, "Hey, there is a shooting going on." So all of them went after that. Yes. The children had been sleeping for hours when their master, simple, came in. Past tense. Came in. Some of these are very simple, but one or two may be a difficult thing for you because you have to supply the whole thing. Alright, here. The children had been 12th. 7 students. What is the verb here? Attend. So 7 students had been attending special class. 7 students had been attending special class when their professor called them. So 7 students were given special tutorial, and then suddenly their professor said, "Please stop this and come here. I am going to arrange something else for you." Right? Yes. And next here, that is, we have been climbing the hill for 2 hours when what happened? Fall. One of them fell, or you can say a stone fell on us, or you can say a tree fell on us, or you can say a monkey fell on us, or you can say, what else you can say? A bird fell on us, anything like that. So we can say we have been climbing the hill for 2 hours when a stone, that's better, no? Fell on us. Stone fell on us. A small stone did not hurt, but still it fell on us. That's all. And next day, they had been swimming for a whole day when one of them disappeared. That is, for some time he was playing a trick with them. Disappeared. For some time he was playing a trick with them. So that is, they will think that they will be surprised, no? Anxious. What happened to one of our friends? So he went and hid behind a bush, something like that. Okay. And the last 15, we had been studying grammar for a month when our professor switched over to literature. For a month when our professor switched over to literature. Because for 1 month we were continuously studying grammar. Then after some day, the professor said, now it is enough. You have become masters of grammar. By attending my classes also, you have become masters of grammar. And therefore, now we will switch over to something else, and that is literature. So the point to remember is this. We are doing this exercise on our first use. You remember, no? The last class I told you that there will be the past perfect. All the actions take place in the past, time past. And what happens is something starts at a particular point and continues for some time, for a week, for a month, for a day, for months, for years, etc. For some excavations. They had been excavating the ground for years when suddenly they found a stone, a precious stone, right? Or a digging. When they had been digging the ground for years. Suddenly they saw an object that was of historical significance. So, a starting point is past. Action is continuing throughout the past time. Then something comes in, an arresting action takes place. Arresting means it can begin with when, can begin with before, can begin with and so. And if you are asking a question, of course it has to be, say, we can use how long, or what have you been doing for 2 months, we can say. How had you been doing? What had you been doing? Where had you been living before you came here? Where had you been living before you came here? What had you been doing before you came here? So, it's very important tense, because anything that you have to say, some action was continuing, then there is another action took place. The continuing action, of course, you have to use the past perfect, and then the arresting action, you use the simple past. So it's all this. This exercise is for this. And last time we had I gave you some guidance based on that we have done this. I suppose that everybody, even without my helping you, you would be in a position to do it, and that's what I want. So till we see again, bye, have a nice day.